Most people end their day in silence, but that silence isn't peace. It's noise turned inward. It's overthinking, self-doubt, the mental replay of every word we regret, everything we didn't do, and every fear we try to bury. And then we wonder why we wake up anxious, tired, already behind. The truth is, your day doesn't end when your body stops. It ends when your mind lets go. And that's why what you say to yourself right before sleep matters more than anything you say all day. This video is not about motivation, it's about mastery. Not about being positive, but about being present, being honest, and being in control. What you're about to hear are 7 powerful lines, rooted in Stoic philosophy, supported by neuroscience, and designed to rewire your subconscious with calm, clarity, and conviction. We'll speak them together, not as mindless affirmations, but as anchors of awareness. Each one will close a mental door from the day, so your sleep becomes deeper, your spirit becomes stronger, and your mind becomes freer. This is your invitation to create a new kind of night, one that restores you rather than drains you. And if it helps you, share it. Someone you love might need it more than you know, because the way we speak to ourselves in the dark shapes the light we wake up to. And that change begins tonight. 1. I am allowed to rest. I've done enough for today. There's a silent pressure that haunts modern minds. It doesn't shout, but it lingers. It follows us from the moment we wake up to the moment we collapse into bed. It whispers that we haven't done enough, that there's more to do, that rest must be earned, never granted. And so we lie in the dark, exhausted yet restless, tired in the bones but wired in the brain. This is where most people end their day. But this is not where you have to end yours, because you are allowed to rest. You have done enough for today. And the truth is, that single sentence may be the most radical act of self-respect in a world obsessed with doing. It is not an excuse. It is not a weakness. It is a conscious decision to break free from the belief that your worth is tied to your productivity. It is a decision rooted in both wisdom and power. Stoic philosophy teaches us that what matters most is not how much you do, but how you do it. What you control, how you show up, and how you treat yourself along the way. Even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, understood the necessity of stillness. He didn't write about working until the collapse. He wrote about clarity, composure, and balance. He understood that rest is not the absence of action, it is the fuel for it. But we forget that. We confuse rest with laziness. We think that stopping means we're falling behind. We carry a checklist in our minds even into our dreams, and that internal to-do list rarely includes space to breathe. So tonight, let this be your reset. Let this be the moment you reclaim your right to pause. You are not a machine. You are not built to operate 24/7. You are a human being with a soul, with emotions, with limits that deserve respect. Machines don't grow, but you do. And growth doesn't just happen in motion. It happens in stillness, in silence, in rest. Modern neuroscience supports what the Stoics knew centuries ago, that your brain, your thinking, your focus, your creativity, they all begin to break down without recovery. Mental clarity doesn't thrive under pressure. It thrives in rhythm. Push, then pause. Strive, then reflect. Work, then rest. This isn't luxury, it's design. Ignoring that design leads to burnout, anxiety, and resentment, the very things we're trying to avoid by pushing harder. Rest is not passive. It's powerful. It's the moment your body starts healing. It's when your subconscious sorts through the noise and begins to repair the inner systems no one else sees. It's when your nervous system resets and your heart finds its rhythm again. It's not sleep alone. It's the kind of rest that begins with a decision. I am done for today. I have given what I could, and that is enough. We live in a culture that worships hustle and glorifies exhaustion. We scroll through highlight reels of people grinding nonstop, building empires overnight, and we wonder why our calm feels like failure. But you weren't born to be in constant motion. You weren't designed to chase approval through performance. You were meant to live with purpose, and that includes the purpose of peace. If you're hearing this right now, and a part of you still resists, if something inside says, but I didn't finish enough, or I should have done more, pause. Ask yourself, did I show up? Did I try? Did I make a choice today that honored my values? Because if the answer is yes, even once, then you've done more than you think. Your mind is wired to highlight what's incomplete. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik effect. It's why unfinished tasks stick in your brain like static. But understanding this gives you power. You don't have to obey that loop. You can close the loop. You can tell your mind, yes, things are left undone, but for now, that's okay. You can reclaim the silence. You can choose peace over perfection. There's a quiet kind of confidence that comes from knowing when to stop, from walking away without guilt, from resting not because you're weak, but because you are strong enough to respect your limits. That's what makes you unshakable. Not endless action, but intentional restoration. The Stoics spoke often of the power of choice, and this, right now, is one of the most important choices you can make. To end the day on your terms, to speak a different story to yourself, to stop measuring your life by output and start measuring it by alignment, by how well your actions reflect your deeper purpose. And no purpose is fulfilled without rest. So tonight, instead of replaying everything you didn't do, speak this line out loud. I am allowed to rest. I've done enough for today. Let that line become your shield against guilt. Let it wrap around you like a blanket of truth. Say it with softness, but with strength. Say it until your body begins to believe it, until your heart slows down, until your mind lets go. You have done enough. You are enough. And tomorrow, you will rise not from pressure, but from peace. Let this be your rhythm. Let this be your ritual. Let it be the beginning of a new way of living, one where rest is respected, the mind is honored, and the soul finally gets to breathe. You are allowed to rest. You've done enough for today. And that is more than okay. That is powerful. 2. My worth is not defined by what I do today. We've all done it. At the end of the day, we mentally review everything we did or didn't do. We count tasks completed, emails answered, goals reached, and problems solved. Based on that list, we decide how we feel about ourselves. If we've done enough, we allow ourselves to feel a flicker of pride. If not, we carry guilt. Quiet, heavy, and persistent. But this is the trap, and it's everywhere. We've been conditioned to tie our self-worth to our productivity, to think we are only as good as our last result, to measure our identity by our ability to produce, respond, hustle, and achieve. And in doing so, we forget something fundamental. You are not a project to be evaluated. You are not a performance report waiting for someone else's approval. You are a person, a living, breathing, evolving human being with value far deeper than what you check off in a day. You are not on your task list. You are not your title. You are not the unread emails or the unfinished goals. And tonight, it's time to disconnect your identity from your output, because your worth is not defined by what you do today. Let that truth echo in your mind. This isn't about being lazy. This isn't about making excuses. This is about reclaiming something far more powerful: the ability to live with internal clarity in a world that constantly pushes external measurement. Stoic philosophy has never judged a person by what they earned or achieved. It always judged them by how they lived, their virtue, their integrity, their mindset. For the Stoics, success wasn't a number. It was a state of character. The question wasn't, what did you do today? But did you act with courage, with self-discipline, with wisdom? Modern life distracts us from that truth. Everywhere we turn, we're taught to attach our identity to results. Work harder, do more, compare, chase, be better than the next person. Beat your last version. And while growth is good, comparison is not. When you measure your worth by what you accomplish each day, you create a moving target that can never be satisfied. That's why some of the most outwardly successful people feel deeply unfulfilled. And it's why some of the most grounded individuals feel peace, even when the world calls them ordinary. They've learned what most haven't. Your value does not increase when you do more. And it does not decrease when you do less. Your value is not something you earn, it's something you remember. Tonight, pause and ask yourself, if everything you did today disappeared, who would you still be? Would you still be kind? Would you still be honest? Would you still carry the same values? Because who you are matters more than what you did. We often forget that effort without alignment means nothing. You can be productive all day and still be disconnected from purpose. You can do everything right and still feel hollow. You can win the world's approval and still lose yourself. And the reason is simple. When your worth depends on output, you never truly rest, because there's always more to do, always another level. Always someone doing more, faster, better. And when you can't keep up, the voice in your head gets louder. I'm falling behind. I'm not enough. I didn't do enough. But here's the shift. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lacking. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what you need to learn. And tonight, what you need to learn is this. Your value is constant. It doesn't rise or fall with the tides of performance. It doesn't vanish when you fail. It doesn't spike when you succeed. It is steady, silent, unshaken. That doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you grow from a place of rootedness, not desperation. You improve not to prove, but to express your potential. You move forward not to earn validation, but to honor your evolution. And ironically, that's when you grow fastest. When you no longer hustle from lack. When you no longer chase identity through performance. When you no longer say, I need to be more, but instead say, I already am, so let's go further. Let's take this deeper. When you tie your worth to performance, your mind becomes your enemy. You begin to avoid risk because failure would mean you're less. You begin to fear rest because slowing down feels like losing ground. You begin to shrink your joy because celebrating too early might make you complacent. And all of this leaves you exhausted, numb, trapped. But when you understand that you're worthy by nature, not by number, everything changes. You start choosing actions that align with your truth, not just your timeline. You start focusing on becoming, not just achieving. You start living with direction, not pressure. And tonight, as you lay down, you can breathe. You can finally release the lie that you didn't do enough to be okay. You can stop reviewing the day like a disappointed boss. You can stop looking at yourself like a failed project. You can start seeing yourself as a person on a journey, a real journey. One with learning, one with imperfection, one with meaning, because you are not what you've done, you are who you're becoming. Say it again, my worth is not defined by what I do today. Let that be your mantra tonight. Let it guide your rest. Let it reshape the way you talk to yourself. Let it become the foundation for how you rebuild your confidence, not from achievement, but from awareness. Not from output, but from alignment. Not from perfection, but from purpose. And tomorrow, when you rise, you'll rise not with the pressure to prove, but with the power to create, without fear, without shame, without doubt, just truth, just strength, just you. 3. Every mistake I made today taught me something valuable. What if today's failure was your best teacher? Not just a flaw to hide or a moment to regret, but a doorway to something deeper. What if the thing you did wrong, the thing you're embarrassed about, the thing that made you feel small was actually the one thing trying to shape you into something stronger, wiser, and more grounded? That single shift in how you see your mistakes can change your life. Because the truth is that mistakes are not the enemy. They are feedback. They are guidance. They are mirrors that reveal what routine hides. Most people treat mistakes like shameful secrets, like stains on their self-worth. But the ones who grow, the ones who rise again and again, they see it differently. They know that failure, when faced with the right mindset, becomes fuel. Every misstep becomes momentum if you choose to let it. You don't learn by pretending to be perfect. You learn by reflecting honestly and compassionately. You learn by asking better questions, not why am I like this, but what can I learn from this? You learn by stepping back and saying, that didn't go well, but what truth is it trying to show me? That is where growth begins. That is where the Stoic lives, in the space between error and awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He didn't just mean external obstacles. He meant internal ones too. Your fear, your pride, your mistakes. They aren't detours. They are directions. They are the way. Think back to something that went wrong today. Maybe it was a conversation where you said too much. Maybe you missed a deadline, forgot something important, or disappointed someone, or yourself. The world wants you to shrink from that moment, to bury it, to judge yourself quietly. But what if, instead, you turned toward it? What if you held it up to the light and asked, what's really happening here? Maybe your reaction came from exhaustion. Maybe it exposed a belief you didn't realize was controlling you. Maybe it showed you where your boundaries still need work, or where your fears are louder than your intentions. If you're willing to look closely, the lesson is always there. Your mistakes are not isolated events. They are part of your pattern. And patterns can only change when you understand them. This is not about blame, it's about clarity. The more clearly you see yourself, the more power you have to transform. But clarity doesn't come through shame. It comes through presence, through pausing, through owning the moment, not avoiding it. Neuroscience shows us that reflection rewires the brain. When you identify what went wrong and why, you create new neural pathways. You actually change how you respond next time. But that only happens when you look inward with honesty, not harshness. Growth without reflection is random. But growth with awareness is transformation. And it starts here, by naming your mistakes not as failures, but as unfinished lessons. You don't become wise by getting everything right. You become wise by getting things wrong and refusing to stay the same, by asking different questions, by building new habits, by showing up better tomorrow than you did today. That is what self-improvement really is. Not perfection, just progress with purpose. You can see this everywhere. The people who lead with peace, the ones who carry deep confidence, they are not flawless. They have simply trained themselves to see every wrong turn as a map. They no longer fear falling because they've learned how to rise, again and again. So the next time you catch yourself replaying a mistake, don't spiral. Pause. Ask yourself, what did this moment reveal about me? What belief or fear did it touch? What do I want to do differently moving forward? That single pause, that act of inner dialogue, is what separates regret from growth. It's where emotion becomes information, and information becomes power. Let's get practical. Choose one moment from today that you're not proud of. Just one. Don't explain it away. Don't justify it. Just hold it gently and ask, what did this teach me? Not what it says about your identity, but what it says about your patterns. Because when you know your patterns, you can change your path. And when you repeat this reflection nightly, it becomes a habit of strength. Your mind starts to respond differently. Your reactions soften. Your vision sharpens. You become someone who adapts instead of avoids, who rebuilds instead of breaks. And here's what no one tells you. This kind of mindset makes you fearless. Not because you stop failing, but because you stop fearing failure. You stop treating it like an identity and start treating it like insight. You no longer crumble when you mess up because you've trained your nervous system to see it as part of the process. And that's where freedom lives, in the ability to make mistakes without losing your center, in the ability to reflect without shame, in the ability to say, I did wrong and I'm still becoming. So tonight, speak it out loud. Every mistake I made today taught me something valuable. Let the sentence soften your heart and sharpen your mind. Let it release the weight of perfectionism and ignite the power of reflection. Because you don't need to be flawless to be powerful. You don't need to erase your mistakes. You need to extract their meaning. The truth is, you are not defined by what went wrong. You are defined by what you do with it. And if you choose to learn, if you choose to stay awake in the moment instead of turning away, then you're not failing at all. You're becoming. You're adapting. You're building wisdom with every scar. Mistakes don't define you, they refine you. 4. I am not behind. I am right on time for my journey. There's a quiet panic that creeps in when you scroll through social media or sit in a room full of people who seem like they've already made it. You feel it when someone your age just bought their second house, launched their own business, or hit a milestone you're still dreaming of. You feel it when someone younger passes you in success. You smile on the outside, but inside, you whisper one sentence to yourself that crushes motivation and steals peace. I'm falling behind. That feeling doesn't just sting, it lingers. It shapes the way you view your days, your choices, and your worth. It pushes you to overwork, overthink, and overlook everything you've actually done. It fuels anxiety and emptiness, and yet it's built on a lie. Because the truth is, you are not behind. You are not off track. You are right on time for your journey. That might feel hard to believe, especially when life feels stuck. Especially when people around you seem to be accelerating, celebrating, leveling up while you're just trying to hold it together. But this is where perspective, real, grounded, stoic perspective, becomes your rescue. You see, we've been sold a myth that life is linear, that there's a master timeline, that by a certain age you should have achieved certain things. as if success is a train that departs at fixed hours, and if you're not on it, you've missed your chance. But that's not life. That's not true. That's not Stoicism. Life is not a race. It's not a checklist. It's not a competition. It is a journey, one with detours, storms, and seasons of waiting. And every single person is on their own unique timeline. Look closer and you'll see it. Some people rise fast and burn out. Others start slow and grow steady. Some find purpose early. Others take years to discover what truly matters. Some succeed by 30. Others bloom at 50. The only thing they have in common? They stayed on their path. This is where Stoic philosophy offers clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't be disturbed by what you cannot control." You cannot control the timing of someone else's story. You cannot dictate the pace of life. You can only control your response, your actions, your effort, your attitude. Comparison is a thief, but it doesn't just steal your joy, it steals your focus. It pulls your eyes off your lane and distracts you from what you can build today. It makes you chase someone else's finish line while forgetting your own path entirely. So tonight, shift your gaze, take your focus back. Picture life like a train station. Each of us has a different ticket, a different destination, a different schedule. Some people get off at the first stop, others ride through the night, and some, like you, are on a longer route, one that takes them through unseen landscapes, deeper lessons, and richer growth. It doesn't mean you're late. It means your path is custom designed for your evolution. You're not behind. You're being prepared. You're not slow. You're becoming strong. You're not failing. You're forming into something more resilient, more intentional, more unshakable. Even neuroscience supports this. Studies show that people who take longer to define success on their own terms often have more sustained emotional resilience. Why? Because they've built internal strength instead of chasing external validation. They've learned to sit with uncertainty, to wrestle with meaning, to navigate life with patience and power. So if your progress feels invisible, remember this: the deepest roots grow underground. Just because no one sees your growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Some of the most important breakthroughs come in seasons of stillness, of recalibration, of rebuilding. But you must trust it. You must choose to believe that your timeline is not broken. It's aligned with your purpose, not your pressure. That belief isn't easy, especially when you're constantly bombarded with highlight reels. But believing it is what sets you free. It releases you from false deadlines. It unhooks you from comparison. It grounds you in reality and gives you the power to keep building without panic. Here's a shift you can make right now. Instead of asking, "Why am I not further?" ask, "What am I learning right now that I couldn't have learned any faster?" Because maybe this delay is what's shaping your depth. Maybe this pace is protecting you from shortcuts that would have cost you everything. Maybe the thing you're waiting for isn't coming later. It's being built within you now. When you see that, the frustration starts to lift. The resentment begins to fade. And in its place grows something far more powerful: calm confidence. The kind of inner peace that says, "I trust my timing. I trust my journey. I trust that I am exactly where I need to be." And when you live in that place, you walk differently. You stop rushing. You stop proving. You start showing up with presence, with purpose, with quiet strength. You start celebrating others without questioning your own worth. You stop asking, "Am I late?" and start saying, "I'm in motion," and that's enough. Because the truth is, nobody is ahead of you. They're just on a different track, a different mission, a different timeline. So tonight, let the fear of being behind dissolve. Let it melt into the floor with every breath. Speak this truth instead: I am not behind. I am right on time for my journey. Say it again. Feel the weight lift. Let the pressure release from your shoulders. Let your mind shift from anxiety to alignment. Because alignment is stronger than acceleration, and peace is more powerful than pressure. You are not late. You are not off track. You are exactly where you are meant to be, for the person you are becoming. You are not behind. You are aligned. 5. It's okay to feel tired. Strength also comes from stillness. Are you tired, or just carrying too much alone? It's a quiet question, but one that cuts through the noise of daily life. We often confuse exhaustion with weakness and silence with failure. But deep down, you know it. Tired doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're failing. It simply means you've given your all. and now it's time to breathe. In a world that celebrates movement, it's easy to forget that stillness is not the absence of progress. It's part of it. And sometimes it's the most powerful part. We're taught to push, to keep going, to always be on. But real strength isn't about never stopping. It's about knowing when to stop. When to step back, when to rest, when to allow your mind to catch up with your body and your soul to catch its breath. Most people think they need more motivation. What they really need is recovery. That pause between efforts isn't a weakness. It's wisdom. That's where clarity comes in. It's where resilience is built. And the Stoics knew this deeply. Stillness is not laziness. It's a discipline in disguise. Marcus Aurelius, a man who carried an empire on his shoulders, understood the need for quiet. He didn't chase constant action. He wrote about restraint, about control, about inner calm. He knew that without the ability to return to silence, we lose sight of what matters. And yet today, we measure our worth by how much we do, how long we stay busy, how hard we hustle. But what if that's exactly what's breaking us? There's no medal for burnout, no prize for being the last one standing when your body is begging for rest. Your nervous system wasn't built to operate at full capacity without pause. Your emotional resilience can't grow if you never allow it to recover. You're not meant to live in survival mode, but you can't heal if you never stop running. That exhaustion you feel, it's not a weakness, it's a signal. It's your body asking for grace. It's your mind whispering that you've pushed long enough, that it's time to return to yourself. Not to quit, but to restore. We often wait until we crash to allow ourselves to rest. We wait for burnout to force us into stillness. But strength is choosing stillness before life demands it. It's saying, I honor my limits before they become pain. It's having the self-respect to know when enough is enough and the courage to walk away from the noise, even for a moment. Because true power doesn't come from endless effort. It comes from alignment, from knowing what fuels you and protecting it. There is a kind of strength and stillness that most people overlook. It's not loud, it doesn't scream for attention, it doesn't need applause, but it's unshakable. It's the kind of strength that lets you think clearly when others are panicking, the kind that helps you respond, not react, the kind that allows you to choose your next step with intention, not urgency. And it's forged not in the chaos, but in the calm. Are you tired because you've done too much? Or because you've neglected to care for yourself in the process? Because you've been strong for too long, without pause, without softness, without permission to be human? If so, tonight is your permission. Tonight is your reminder that you do not have to earn rest. You deserve it because you exist. Because you carry weight the world doesn't see. Because you've been fighting battles no one applauds you for. And because healing doesn't happen in noise, it happens in quiet, in breath, in letting go. Stillness is your reset button. It's where your mind decompresses, where your thoughts settle like dust in a room you've finally stopped running through. It's where your body regenerates, your emotions unwind, and your spirit speaks. Without it, even your best efforts become scattered. Without it, purpose starts to blur, and productivity becomes pressure. But with stillness, clarity returns, focus sharpens, energy renews, and life starts to feel possible again. You don't need to explain your tiredness to anyone. You don't need to justify the need to rest. Not every pause requires permission. Sometimes you stop simply because stopping is wise. Because you respect the vessel that carries your vision. Because you're in this for the long game and no one sprints a marathon. So if today was heavy, let it be. If your heart is weary, hold it gently. If your body aches for stillness, give it the gift of rest. You are not giving up. You are giving space, and that space will save you. Say it aloud. It's okay to feel tired. Strength also comes from stillness. Say it again until it settles into your bones, until it softens the parts of you that have been gripping too tightly, until it reminds you that power isn't always loud. Sometimes it sounds like silence, feels like a breath, looks like surrender, but leads to strength. Tonight, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to push further. You don't have to keep carrying the weight just to be worthy. You've done enough, and now it's time to recover. Because tomorrow, the world will ask more of you. And when it does, you'll be ready, not because you forced it, but because you honored your limits tonight. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are not weak. You are resting, not quitting. 6. I am planting invisible seeds. Growth is happening, even if I can't see it yet. A gardener never expects the seed to sprout overnight. He doesn't dig it up the next morning just to check if it's working. He waters, he waits, he believes in what's happening beneath the surface. Because he knows that growth begins long before it's visible. And yet, when it comes to our own lives, we forget this truth. We demand results. We chase instant proof. We want transformation to show up fast, loud, and obvious. And when it doesn't, we assume something's broken. We assume we're not enough. But the truth is, the most powerful changes begin quietly, slowly, invisibly. Right now, you might feel like you're stuck, like all your effort is going nowhere. You've been making better choices. You've been thinking differently, showing up more intentionally, practicing gratitude, releasing old patterns. But when you look around, nothing seems to have changed. The mirror doesn't reflect your progress. The world doesn't reward your discipline. No one notices what you're building on the inside, and that silence feels like failure. But it's not. That silence is growth. That stillness is sacred. What's happening now is not the absence of movement, it's the foundation of it. Because every time you choose patience over panic, you're growing. Every time you resist an old habit, even for a second, you're growing. Every time you speak to yourself with kindness instead of criticism, you're growing. These are invisible seeds, planted daily, watered in the dark. And just because you can't see the leaves doesn't mean the roots aren't forming. The Stoics knew this. They didn't wait for applause. They didn't chase results. They trusted their actions. They trusted their path. Marcus Aurelius wrote not about outcomes, but about the inner condition, about aligning your life with reason, with virtue, with nature. That's what real progress looks like. Quiet, humble, relentless. But the modern world conditions you to move fast, to prove, to compare. We're addicted to external validation, to measuring everything. If we don't see progress, we label it a failure. If there's no visible win, we assume it's wasted. But that mindset is what breaks momentum. It's what makes people quit too soon. The truth is, transformation doesn't begin with applause. It begins with quiet conviction, with staying steady in the shadows, with showing up when no one is watching, when the mirror offers no reward, when the only evidence is the fact that you didn't give up. And that's the real work. That's what most people never see. They don't see the nights you chose discipline over comfort. They don't see the inner rewiring, the emotional recalibration, the mental clarity you're slowly developing. But you feel it. Deep down, you know something is changing. Maybe it's the way you pause before reacting. Maybe it's the way you speak to yourself with more grace. Maybe it's the way you start to crave peace more than chaos. These are signs, and even if they're invisible to the world, they are powerful proof of evolution. Growth is not a straight line. It's not a before and after photo. It's a process. It's messy, it's nonlinear, it's often delayed, but it's always worth it, and it always starts in the dark. Just like roots pushing through the soil, your new mindset, your emotional strength, your clarity, they're forming below the surface. Quiet, slow, but unshakable. That's where your real power is, not in what people see, but in what they can't. This is why you must protect your process. Stop checking the timeline. Stop comparing your journey. Stop asking, is it working? And start asking, am I aligned? Because when you shift your focus from result to rhythm, from urgency to integrity, everything changes. You stop rushing. You start trusting. And that trust gives you something far more important than speed. It gives you peace. Imagine a season where you don't chase, don't force, don't doubt every move. Imagine waking up knowing that what you're doing matters, even if no one claps for it yet. That kind of calm isn't passive, it's powerful. It's built from the inside out. It's the result of someone who knows their worth doesn't come from the outcome, but from the effort, from the alignment, from the quiet, daily decisions that compound in the dark. So tonight, if you're questioning your progress, don't. You're not failing. You're forming. You're not behind. You're being rooted. You're not stuck. You're being strengthened. The transformation you're waiting for is already happening. Not in the spotlight, but in the soil, where the best things always begin. Say it to yourself, not as a wish, but as a truth. I am planting invisible seeds. Growth is happening, even if I can't see it yet. Let that sentence be your anchor when doubt creeps in, Let it remind you that the absence of proof is not the absence of progress. Let it steady your breath, your pace, your faith, because something deep within you is unfolding, quietly, naturally, perfectly. You don't have to see it to believe in it. You don't have to rush it to trust it. What's for you is forming, in the quiet, in the waiting, in the repetition, in the stillness. Trust the silence. Your roots are growing. 7. Tomorrow is a blank page and I hold the pen. There's something quietly powerful about an open notebook under moonlight. A blank page. No marks, no judgments, no expectations, just space, waiting. And that's exactly what tomorrow is. No matter how messy today felt, no matter what you said, lost, missed, or feared, tomorrow arrives untouched, unwritten. It doesn't demand perfection, it simply invites participation. It offers you the pen and asks one simple question: what will you do with it? Most people don't realize this. They carry today into tomorrow like it's a weight they must bear. Regret becomes a habit. Guilt becomes a second skin. Slowly, the pages of their life begin to look the same, not because they lack potential, but because they stopped believing in change. They forgot they were the author. They forgot the script isn't locked, but you don't have to. Right now, you can remember what the Stoics knew all along. We can't change the past, but we always control the next move. And in that truth lies your quiet superpower. Life doesn't care about what you should have done. It cares about what you'll choose next. It doesn't replay yesterday's scene unless you write it again. And it doesn't wait for you to be perfect before it allows you to begin. So begin. Begin messy. Begin uncertainly. Begin with one thought, one choice, one moment that honors the kind of person you're becoming. You don't need to have the whole story figured out. You just need to start the next sentence with intention. This is what active hope looks like. Not waiting for life to get easier. Not sitting in silence hoping something changes. But picking up the pen, even with a shaking hand, and writing a new line. A better response. A bolder dream. A deeper level of discipline. It's not about rewriting your life in one day. It's about choosing not to copy yesterday onto a clean page. And yes, the blank page can feel intimidating. It holds no instructions, no roadmap, just silence. But in that silence is space for creativity, for course correction, for growth. And growth doesn't begin with applause. It begins with honesty. Ask yourself, if I could rewrite just one paragraph tomorrow, what would it say? Would it say, you paused before reacting? That you finally told the truth? That you moved your body, nourished your mind, protected your peace? Would it say you made a decision not to repeat a habit that's been draining you for years? Whatever it is, write it. Not just in your mind, in your actions, in your choices, in the way you speak to others, in the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. Because this is the essence of self-mastery, not controlling outcomes, but writing your response, moment by moment, page by page. Some nights that page will feel heavy. You'll hear the voice of doubt. You'll feel tempted to believe that your story is already written, already decided, already fixed. But that's just noise, a lie dressed up as logic. And the only way to silence it is to write something that proves it wrong. Not with grand gestures, but with quiet decisions, with real presence. And you've already started, by showing up, by listening, by reminding yourself that tomorrow is yours. No matter how many pages came before, this next one is new, untouched, unfolding. And the pen? It's still in your hand. So ask yourself, not what others think, not what's most impressive. Ask what's most aligned. What feels true to the version of you you're fighting to become? What would someone with clarity write on that first line in the morning? Maybe something simple. Maybe something fierce. Maybe just one silent promise to yourself. This time, I won't abandon myself. And when the sun rises, let that promise guide you. Not perfectly, just consistently. Not for approval, for integrity. Let it shape the way you move, the way you choose, the way you speak to your own mind. You don't need a dramatic breakthrough. You don't need the perfect plan. You need presence, ownership. And the reminder that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it writes softly. Sometimes it begins with a blank page and a quiet decision to begin again. Say it to yourself with calm confidence. Tomorrow is a blank page and I hold the pen. Let that truth settle into your chest. Let it dissolve every thought that says you can't. Let it remind you that you are not just living this story. You're writing it. And you don't need anyone's permission to start a better chapter. The ink is yours. The language is yours. The message is yours. You are the author. The next chapter begins at sunrise. Each night gives you a chance to return to yourself, to step away from the noise and into your own mind. These 7 lines aren't just words, they are tools. Tools to quiet the chaos, to build emotional resilience, to plant inner peace. Spoken consistently, they become more than affirmations. They become habits of thought, mental anchors, a personal philosophy that shapes how you show up, not only tomorrow, but for the rest of your life. In a world that pushes for more, faster, louder, you are learning the rare art of stillness, reflection, and conscious self-direction. That alone sets you apart, because strength is not always about how much you do. Often it's about how deeply you think, how calmly you choose, and how deliberately you live. Every line you've spoken tonight is a step in mastering your mindset. And mindset, as the Stoics taught us, is the beginning of everything. So take what you've learned, practice it, make it your own. Whisper it each night until it becomes your natural response to life. The change won't be immediate, but it will be real. Because what you say to yourself consistently creates the world you walk into. And now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 7 lines spoke to you most tonight? How have you seen your mindset shift over time? Share your story in the comments. Someone else may need your words more than you know.